Evening.
Pleasure.
I want to start by asking you about the market really for this whole week. I mean, we've seen losses over losses and another percent today.
It's not been a good week, has it? It's been like a sort of an episode of Game of Thrones really this week. I think we're down 190 odd points for the week, which is pretty bad, and we're also pretty much given up all the gains that we've made in 2013. So it's not been a good week. Losses across the board. There's not much actually that's been spared really. Even the defensives, like the Telstras, have had their problems this week.
Yeah.
The banks have been under pressure, and we've also seen today BHP, Rio, and the Fortescues, and especially Newcrest having some serious problems.
Newcrest, that's for sure. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But what was behind the losses today, do you think?
I think the market wanted to try and go a little bit higher today. We had a positive lead from New York, so we were kind of looking and trying desperately to go higher, I think, early. But the Newcrest announcement, they had a significant pullback, to say the least. So that kind of negativity, I guess, around the Japanese market. Also, we've seen the Aussie dollar under assault again, and that does seem to be driving our market down.
You know, Tyndall portfolio manager Malcolm Whitten saying that it's all about a reversal of the so-called yield trade. Do you think people are just starting to see full valuations now and moving out?
I don't know about now. I think they did at 5,200. But, you know, mid-May seems a long time away now.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think, you know, we had a really, really good start to the year. Everyone was chasing very aggressively yield, at no matter what price, really, which did get a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing an adjustment in the market. But a lot of these stocks are now coming back to sort of sustainably good, very attractive yields. You know, you've got Westpac and the other banks, 6.5% yield. You can borrow money from the banks and buy Westpac shares, and it's self-funding, and you get a fully franked dividend.
So, Newcrest.
They've done well, haven't they?
Oh, they've had troubles, that's for sure.
They have troubles. The trouble's come in threes. It's just been a disaster. I mean, there's no other word for it. They've had production cuts, they've had cost overruns, they've had issues with grade. Since they bought Lahire for, what was it, $10 billion,
Yep.
It has been a fiasco. And this, you know, it's hard to imagine how a company worth only $10 billion can write off $6. You know, it is just extraordinary. You know, when they took over Lahire, the gold price was $1,200. So, you know, they've had the benefit of a pretty high gold price for quite a while, apart from the last 2 or 3 months. So, you know, to write off $6 billion is a pretty big admission that basically they paid completely the wrong price for Lahire, and they haven't been able to extract any value from the asset.
They've lost 70% of their value since November 2010. That's not that long ago.